Just 1 minute to talk about Doctor Who. Just 1 minute, or maybe two. Welcome to YouTube, we're talking Doctor Who. For you.
Hello and welcome to this, the Doctor number 6, Colin Baker. His stories ranked by preference revealer, where you paste the stories into it and then it gives you matchups between the stories and you say which one you prefer, and it gives you as many of those as it needs to then rank the stories. So let's dive in. And as you'll see straight off, I have 1 to 8 listed for Colin Baker, which means I'm treating Trial of a Time Lord as a complete story. That is how it was broadcast as episodes 1 to 14. I know you can subdivide it, and we will talk about the subdivisions when it comes up, but I am treating it as a complete story for the purposes of this. We dive straight in with the Twin Dilemma, the worst Colin Baker story. After the heights of Kejozani, season 21 finishes with this debut. This is probably the height of go read the book, which is Eric Sayward doing a sort of sub-Douglas Adams, but it still works really, really well, and I very, very much enjoy it. And it gets past things like the performance of the twins, and the music, and the look of the production and the direction, which are all awful. I know it has its champions in the same way that Time and the Rani has its champions, which we will talk about that next episode. But for me, Twin Dilemma is just terrible. And deserves its place at the bottom. And then we jump to the Attack of the Time. I was slightly surprised to find this at the top, because maybe it's just that, overall Colin Baker's era on TV is not that great. Because for me to find Attack of the Cybermen at the top was a bit of a surprise. But I do enjoy it, I do have a lot of time for it. The violence in it is a problem, and the fan service is a problem. So poor Colin. I think of Doctors on TV, he is my least favourite, and that is not his fault. That is the fault of the time that the series was made, and it had real problems in, producing stories that I like, and that a lot of people also don't like. Vengeance on Varos. It's good. I thought this might come out higher, but clearly in ranking it, this is how it came out. So, who am I to disagree with the preference revealer? Lots of unpleasantness in this story too. I think Syl is a fantastic villain. I think Martin Jarvis is a sympathetic governor of the planet in the position that he finds himself in. I think that the two characters who are the Greek chorus, as it were, commenting on the action, work really, really well. But it's quite unpleasant. So not something that I particularly enjoy watching, I think, I would say. The Mark of the Rani, yes. Really enjoy the Mark of the Rani. I like Kate O'Mara as the Rani in both of her outings. I like the Doctor Master Rani thing. The music is lovely. The setting is great. The Rani is an interesting alternative take on Renegade Time Lord. Love this one. The Two Doctors. I remember being very surprised when I found out that this was a 3-part, 45-minute story. It's too long. It's a mess. Robert Holmes would much rather be writing about, the cannibalism, androgam bit of the story, and he has to do all the rest of this stuff. It's a waste of Patrick Troughton, sadly, and it's a waste of the Sontarans, and they're all wrong anyway. It's a waste of going to Spain. It's just a bit of a waste. The whole story is a bit of a waste, sadly. There's a good story in the middle of there. What we got on screen was not it, which is a shame. Time Lash. No surprises here. It's a nice idea, but again, the execution is a mess. I like Paul Darrow, but, not particularly in this. The whole H.G. Wells thing, I couldn't care less about. Yeah. I'm sorry, Colin. I want to like your stuff more, but I don't. Revelation of the Daleks. Many people would have put this higher. it's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea at all. It's unpleasant in a way that other unpleasant stories don't quite sink that low. The sequence of Stengos's head inside the Dalek is one of the most horrible things that Doctor Who has ever done, and I do not like it. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's some great characters in it. There's some people that are deliciously horrible in it, but no, this one is not for me at all. Which leaves us with the Trial of a Time Lord. I quite like the Trial of a Time Lord, as you can see from its position on this. And obviously, Terror of the Vervoids has been produced as a separate thing that sits outside of the trial on the Blu-ray. I haven't seen it because I don't have the Blu-ray. But the other stories do not work outside of the context of the trial. So I think you have to go, well, we have to judge it as a whole. But having said that, we do have those 3 separate stories that make up the bulk of it, and then the finale. And I like the majority of it, with the exception of Mind Warp. Mind Warp is just quite unpleasant, and is a really poor choice. When your leading man is not liked particularly, and that's not his fault. That's because of the way you wrote him and asked him to perform in his first season. To then have a story where you've sort of rectified that in The Mysterious Planet, where he and Perry are much happier together, and then you messed it up in the middle bit, and everybody says that nobody knew what was supposed to be real and what was supposed to be fake, and what was supposed to be the Doctor acting how he does, and what was him acting having been mind warped. And then I don't like the fact that they kill Perry off and then bring her back. I think it would have been much nicer if they'd just not killed her off. I don't like the fact that Perry dies. I don't like that idea at all. But equally, I'm not a fan of the idea of her having gone off with Yrcanos either. Terror of the Vervoids is great. I like Bonnie Langford as Mel. I know people don't have as much time for her as I do. It's a great story. Pip and Jane Baker, I like their writing. I know a lot of people don't. And the finale does about as well as it can do with the mess that it's been built up to, and the reveal of the Valiant as the Doctor, fair enough. It's okay. And the Master being in it, works. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but it's a mess that I can see past the flaws of, in the way that I can't necessarily see past the flaws of other things. So that's my list. That's my list of Colin Baker stories. Do tell me down below how you would rank them, and if you'd split Trial of the Time Lord up. Sadly, this video is going to be short because there aren't many Colin Baker stories to rank. We will do the last one in the next one with Sylvester McCoy.
Just 1 minute to talk about Doctor Who. Just 1 minute, or maybe 2. Welcome to YouTube, we're talking Doctor Who.